Hello everybody, 'tis I, the Rumpled One, Sunday, March 3rd, the year 2013. Lately I've been dealing with local government agencies, quasi-government agencies, and I'm just really fed up. I mean, I'm like up to my eyeballs fed up. It's just, once again, what's the point? Well, the problem is that government is just encroaching upon us. I just read or saw on YouTube the other day, read about it on Facebook. There's a, I believe it's a North Carolina man, kind of like a mountain man. Has this place out in the mountains where for decades he's been teaching people how to live simply and live off the land. Well, I guess he got famous, got his face and place on TV, and the authorities have taken notice. Now they want to shut him down because they deem that it might not be safe for the public. Well, it's been safe for the past 20 or 30 some years, but in the infinite wisdom of our elected officials and their appointed and hired minions, this guy's now looking at the possibility of having it shut down. You know, I believe the Constitution said life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I don't believe it referred to guaranteed safety. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't recall seeing that. I know it talks about the general welfare, but I think they've really stretched that general welfare. And you see, the fight, if we were to have a revolution or restoration, I mean, you wouldn't know who to shoot. I mean, it's not just the federal government, the state governments. And here in Oregon, they're introducing gun legislation, so I guess we got to take on the state. What about the county and their ordinances? I guess we got to take them on too. And what about the city? Well, it looks like we got to take them on too. I mean, it's just so much government, I don't know if we could actually fight them all. But, and the other thing that I was pondering, even if we started the fight, and if we were successful, then what? For example, money. Would we still have the dollar? Well, we have to change currency. And then, what about property? Would things get divvied up? Would you get to keep it? What you already have? Those are some tough questions. Not sure what the answers would be. Because, see, I mean, if we were to have an all-out Civil War revolution type of event, probably a lot of records would get lost, destroyed, and people would take advantage of the situation. So, I don't know, and not to mention food supply chain, oil. I mean, where would we the people get our supplies? I guess maybe if we were lucky enough to win a skirmish with the feds, I guess we could take their weapons and bullets. Kind of like in that movie Defiance, when the Jews out in the woods defeated some Germans in some skirmishes and took their weapons and bullets. And that was a pretty good movie, Defiance. I didn't do a review on it. Maybe I should. But I was just wondering, where'd they get the nails? Because every time they moved, they started building, they were hammering nails. I just wonder where they got the nails. I don't think there was a Home Depot out there for them to go buy nails, but I guess they figured it out. But back to the main point. Who would we fight? It's not like Obama's going to be on a white horse going, you know, with his sword drawn and leading the charge. He'd be in some underground bunker up in Air Force One out of harm's way, probably somewhere in the world playing golf with Tiger Woods. So, I'm not really sure what the revolution would look like. I just can't even fathom it. Like I said in other videos, there's no line to draw. I mean, how can we tell? I mean, what if somebody who worked for the city wanted to fight against the state and the feds, but they work for the city, so they're part of the problem too. So it would just be a mess. I don't know how we organize. I really don't. I wonder if anybody out there has any ideas on that. And I guess you could just take a personal stand and say that you're sovereign. But then again, when comes tax time, you don't pay your taxes. Some, armored vehicle might start rolling up to your front door and punch a hole in the wall and fill your place with napalm. Burn you out. Gas you out. Or maybe they'll just practice with some of their fully automatic weapons and just riddle your place with bullets. Oh, maybe they could starve you out. But then again, you might have huge stockpiles of food, so I don't think they want to wait around that long. So they have, if somebody decides to, quote unquote, start the revolution, they'll make examples of a few people and say, okay, we're just going to crush you. I don't know. I hate to think it's a lost cause, but maybe we just have to wait them out, because we know the way things are going, the system can't support its own weight much longer. It's a house of cards waiting to fall. So maybe when it collapses, maybe that's when we can change it. We can restore it. But I don't know if that'll work either, because once again we get back to the money and the property and all of that. We could wind up, maybe this country could go the way of the Soviet Union. I don't know if every state would be sovereign unto itself. That'd be real interesting. That would be really interesting. But I don't really see that happening. I mean, for example, here in Oregon, if we became a sovereign state, there'd be a big battle probably between the people in the rural parts of Oregon and people in places like Portland, Medford, Salem. So those lines would probably have to get drawn. It'd be real interesting. And then what about national defense? Well, there would be no nation to defend per se. So I don't know if we'd be overrun by China and or Russia, maybe North Korea. I don't know. It'd be one heck of a mess, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should go talk to the sheep. They might have an answer. I know there's a few people out there probably thought I've gone off my rocker, but it just seems to make more sense talking to the sheep than talking to local government. Even though I think I'm going to have to go into Mayberry tomorrow night and talk to the city council and let them know a thing or two. But the problem is that when there's a problem, usually somebody's responsible for that problem. And when you point out that there's a problem, they take offense to it. They might not see it as a problem. It becomes a matter of opinion. And because you pointed out that in your opinion there's a problem, you are now labeled as rude, obnoxious, acidic, and any of those other words. You're a malcontent. And somehow they think that you're not intelligent enough to understand how things work, how things get done. On the other hand, the problem is that things aren't getting done. Or they're taking way too long to get done. You're making it way too complex. Too many committees, associations. So, we'll see what happens. But the point is, the main point, is that I don't know who we would fight. How many people we the people would declare as the enemy. I just don't see how we can do it. In the meantime, those tyrants at the federal, state, county, local level, they're going to keep doing what they're doing until we, the people, wake up and smell the tyranny.